Hello, and welcome to Read Insight. I am your host, Charlotte. Have you ever woken up with a heavy feeling in your chest? A sense that you are performing a role in a play you didn't write? We often move through our days checking off boxes, meeting deadlines, and smiling at the right moments. Yet beneath the surface, there is a quiet, persistent voice criticizing our every move. It tells us we aren't working hard enough, that we aren't attractive enough, or that we simply aren't enough. We carry these invisible burdens like heavy stones in our pockets, exhausting ourselves as we try to climb the mountain of life. Today, I want to guide you through a book that serves as a map to dropping those stones. It is a small book with a colossal impact, titled The 4 Agreements, written by Don Miguel Ruiz. Ruiz was born into a family of healers in rural Mexico, raised within the ancient Toltec tradition. Interestingly, he began his career as a surgeon, repairing physical bodies, until a near-death experience propelled him to explore the healing of the human spirit. This book is not merely a self-help manual. It is a profound invitation to break the chains of our social conditioning and reclaim our personal freedom. To understand the power of these agreements, we must first look at what Ruiz calls the domestication of the human. Imagine a young child, wild and free, who plays and loves without hesitation. But as we grow, we are taught the rules of the dream of the planet, the collective societal dream. We are rewarded when we obey and punished when we rebel. Eventually, we become so good at this that we no longer need parents or teachers to discipline us. We become our own domesticated animals, punishing ourselves with guilt and shame whenever we step out of line. We agree to a set of rules that we never actually chose. The brilliance of Ruiz's work lies in offering us 4 new agreements, conscious contracts we make with ourselves to break the old, limiting ones, and transform our lives into an expression of freedom and love. The first agreement sounds simple, but it is perhaps the most difficult and the most powerful. Be impeccable with your word. Now, when we hear the word impeccable, we often think of neatness or perfection. However, the root of the word comes from Latin, meaning without sin. In this context, a sin is anything you do that goes against yourself. Therefore, being impeccable with your word means not using your words against yourself. Language is not just a tool for communication, it is a force of creation. It is pure magic. Think about the last time you gossiped about someone. You were planting seeds of poison in another person's mind. Or think about the way you speak to yourself in the mirror. When you say, "I look old," or "I am stupid," you are casting a spell on yourself, reinforcing a reality of inadequacy. This first agreement asks us to use our energy in the direction of truth and love. It challenges us to stop the internal war and to speak with integrity. Imagine how your life would change if you simply stopped judging yourself and others through your speech. It is the foundation of a new life script. Building upon that foundation, we move to the second agreement, which acts as a powerful shield in our modern, hyper-connected world. Don't take anything personally. This is a concept that can instantly alleviate a massive amount of suffering. We tend to assume that everything happening around us is about us. If a colleague is rude, we think we did something wrong. If a friend doesn't text back, we feel rejected. But the truth, as Ruiz explains, is that nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. When someone insults you, it is actually a reflection of their own wounds, their own fear, and their own domestication. If you take it personally, you are accepting their poison and making it your own. But if you can truly grasp this agreement, you become immune to the opinions of others. You could walk through hell without getting burned. You no longer need to trust what others say or do because you trust yourself to make your own choices. It is a liberation from the need for external validation. The third agreement addresses the chaos of the human imagination. Don't make assumptions. We have a tendency to invent stories in our heads and then believe them as if they were absolute truth. We see someone looking at us strangely, and we assume they hate us. We assume our partner knows what we want, and then we get hurt when they don't deliver. The problem with assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We create entire dramas, misunderstandings, and conflicts out of thin air because we are afraid to ask questions. We are afraid of looking foolish or facing a truth we might not like. The antidote to this poison is courage, the courage to ask questions and the courage to express what you really want. When you stop making assumptions, you communicate clearly. Your relationships transform because they are no longer based on guessing games, but on clarity and understanding. Imagine a world where we simply ask, "What did you mean by that?" instead of spiraling into anxiety. That is the peace this agreement offers. Finally, we arrive at the fourth agreement, the one that allows the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. Always do your best. This sounds like a cliché from a school report card, but Ruiz adds a crucial nuance. Your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive and changing all the time, so your best will sometimes be high quality and other times it will not be as good. When you wake up refreshed and energized, your best is wonderful. When you are tired, sick, or upset, your best will be different, and that is okay. The agreement is simply to do your best under any circumstance, no more, no less. If you try to do more than your best, you deplete your body and kill your spirit. If you do less than your best, you subject yourself to guilt, frustrations, and self-judgment. By simply doing your best, you avoid self-condemnation. You can look in the mirror and say, "I did what I could today." It brings a gentleness to our striving. It reminds us that life is not about the destination or the trophy. It is about the action itself, the enjoyment of the process. As we weave these four agreements together, we begin to see a path out of the fog. It is not an easy path. We have years, perhaps decades, of old habits and social conditioning to dismantle. We will stumble. We will break the agreements. We will take things personally. We will make assumptions. But the fourth agreement reminds us to just get up and try again. Do your best again. Today is a new dream. What I love most about this philosophy is its profound empathy. It doesn't ask us to be perfect. It asks us to be authentic. It invites us to stop being the victim of our own lives and start being the artist of our spirit. So, as you go back into the world today, back to your office, your family, or your solitude, I want you to view your interactions through this lens. Notice when you are about to speak a harsh word against yourself. Catch yourself when you start inventing a story about why someone acted the way they did. Remember that you have the power to break the old agreements that make you suffer. You have the power to create a new dream, one based on joy rather than fear. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the four agreements. I hope these ancient words have sparked a modern realization within you. Before we part, I have a small challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, try to practice just one of these agreements. Maybe you choose to be impeccable with your word and refrain from any self-criticism. Just observe how lighter you feel. I would love to hear how that goes for you. Until next time, keep reading, keep thinking, and keep dreaming your own dream. And here is a question to carry with you. Which of the four agreements do you find most difficult to keep? And what does that tell you about the fears holding you back?